Okay, so now that we've discovered our way of survival, so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about it. All right, the way of survival comes from a long time ago. So that's what it was created a long time ago when we were young. I mean, that was how we got through things, how we protected ourselves. So it's not a bad thing. You know, it's just something that we needed at that time to get us through. But as we get older and become adults, you know, and are able to speak for ourselves and do things for ourselves, it becomes more of a burden, right? It becomes something that gets in the way now between us and our relationships with other people, or us and our relationships with life. So, you know, it's something like we should have grown out of, but we didn't. Okay? So, having said that, it's like when you take a look here at the event, so what happened, and then the interpretation, like what I said. So, where would you say we live our life? Do we live our life here, or do we live our life here? Here. Okay. Very good. Agree? All right. So in your books, you'll draw a circle there, a stick man circle in yours. Like that's where we start living our life from. No, in this page. Yeah. A stick man, a dress.
A stick lady.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Now, when you take a look at this, so is this real? Did this happen? Yes? It's real. So it's real. Okay? So is this real? Yes. Okay. Everybody agree? Okay. So one of those things is not real. So things that have happened to us, are they real? Well, let's look over here. Okay? So now, because this happened to us, because our events happened to us, does that mean that there's something wrong with us now? No. But who thought that? Yeah, we did. Okay? That's what we thought when we were young. So now look, because this happened to us, does that mean now that we can never trust anyone ever again? No, not really, eh? But it's like, but who believed that? We did. So, because this happened to us, right, does that mean that our parents and those people, that they didn't care about us? So, is it real? Or is that what we said?
We said how we felt.
Yeah, we said what we thought, but we said what it felt like at the time. Okay? And so, look, because this happened, because things like this happened in our lives, right? Does that mean that that we have to go around now constantly protecting ourselves? A habit. Yeah, becomes a bad habit. Because sometimes, we didn't need that. But we did it anyways, right? And so Glenna, see, yours is a turtle, right? So a turtle's got a shell. And a turtle only comes out like if they feel safe, right? And then if a turtle doesn't feel safe, it goes where? In their shell, right? And then there's no way you can get them to come out, right? Like, even if you're like, hey, right, it won't, they'll just stay in there. So protecting itself, right? And so that our way of survival then starts to show up that way. It's like we do that all of the time. So when we look over here, again, I'm gonna just keep asking it, right? So because this happened, does that mean that now life, life is gonna be unsafe? That life is unsafe? See, but who thought that? We did. And then it's like, and then we kept telling ourselves that. And then if you keep telling yourself something, then all of a sudden you start to believe it. And then if you start to believe something, all of a sudden you make it, yeah, you make it real. See, this is real, but only to who? To you. Okay? But if it was any other person who came to you and they said to you, yeah, you know what, I got sexually abused and that's fine. And now, so now I'm not worth it to anybody. And nobody even protected me, so that they didn't even love me. It's like they didn't even stop it. And so now, I'm just worthless. Like, I'm not worth anything. Like, if somebody said that to you, what would you try to tell them that's not true? Right? You'd be like, no, that's not true. No, right? And you try to convince them otherwise. But that's exactly what we're telling ourselves. It's what we're saying in our head. Does that make sense? Yeah, look, I want you to really get how powerful this conversation is. Okay? Because now there's feelings attached to it. So remember yesterday, when we said, hey, an event, something happens, right? It's finished. It's done. It's over. It's not happening that way anymore. But is it complete? No. And because it's not complete for us, we make it real when it's not. So remember this morning when we drew that little X and all those feelings that are inside of that? Well, an incompletion turns into a story. So it's like this becomes our story about ourselves, our story about who we are, who our family is, what our life is like. And we are powerful because whatever we say, we can create. And if we don't see it, we keep living our life like all of this is true, like it's right. That we're right about all of these things we're saying. Does that make sense? Well, maybe it's not even true. It's like, and we never challenged it ever. We just went along, believing, that's what I need to do, that's how it's gotta be.
True story.
Yeah? Look, so here's the thing. This happened, right? this happened. This is true. This is real. But this is everything we added. And then, you know, we take this, right? And we live our life from it. So now this starts to cover up like that spirit of who we are. And we start walking around with this. So, and it's so solid. So now look, this is one event that happened. But remember with this, we drew all those other events? See, not only one thing happened to us, lots of stuff happened in the course of our lives. Okay? So we could have got sexually abused, but we could have got bullied too. And then when we got bullied, a lot of the same feelings, a lot of the same thoughts, you know, a lot of the same decisions applied. And then, you know, maybe somebody hit us. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this applies, right? And then every time something happens, what happens? This story just gets more solid. And then, you know, we're like a teenager now. Let's say, you know, someone doesn't want to be our friend. Boom, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, see, I knew it. See, I knew I wasn't good enough. See, I knew I wasn't worth it. Right? And then it just comes back again, keeps coming back. And every time it comes back, it gets more solid and more solid. Until we start to believe it. And then it replaces that original belief system. Then no, it's like, no, I'm not good. No, there's something wrong with me. No, I can't trust other people. No, people are gonna hurt you. No, life is not good. Life is hard. Shit always happens. And all of a sudden, this replaces that. So, on day one, I was telling you that I was in couch therapy for like years. And I was in therapy for years because I kept trying to fix this. And rehashing it, trying to fix this. And yet it's not real anyways. So that's it. That's all. I just need you to see that. And what if the story you're telling yourself about yourself is a bunch of bullshit? So this morning we talked about suicide. Okay? Well, you know what? People don't kill themselves because, you know, somebody didn't say hi to them, or somebody, you know, did not, you know, offer them tea, or because someone forgot their birthday. No, people kill themselves because this is going on where? In their head. 24/7. Imagine. 24/7, and you can't escape. So then we try to escape it, so we start doing what? Drugs, right? Alcohol, we try to numb it. We shop. We'll get busy, right? We'll become workaholics. We'll gamble. We'll eat. Well, whatever, right? Something to try to numb the pain of this. Okay? And so, you know, like, and this is, so someone who believes, like, really believes that they are nothing, that they're unlovable, that they're not worth it, there is nothing we can do to convince them otherwise. Do you get that? Because they don't believe it. And so that's why we're doing this. That's why we're training. It's because like people in our community, people in our family, you know, and our families are dying because of this. It's so powerful in our lives sometimes. But what I'm saying is the moment you start to challenge it, it falls apart. And that's why we needed you to write it down so you can see it, because you can't trust it. Even those feelings there, you can't trust them. So it's the feelings that keep it stuck, because we think because we feel that it must be real, because we feel scared, because we feel, you know, confused, because we feel worried that that's real. But even feelings can play tricks on us. So now think about a time, like have you guys ever had a dream that was so vivid, right? That you woke up and you're crying? Or you woke up and you were laughing? Or you woke up and you were scared? Yeah? Well, you felt that dream. So was it real? Or did it get created? See, we can create feelings, is what I'm telling you, if we think enough on it. We could ruin a good day just by thinking like all kinds of like crazy, you know, bad stuff about ourselves. So, you know, even these feelings, it's like we can't trust them. Like I always say this, right? So I don't know if you guys know, but Justin's my husband. And this one time, you know, we were sleeping and I was having this dream. And in my dream, he's like, you know, he's smooching around with somebody else. And I could feel it, right? Like this anger, this, you know that feeling? So I get up, right? And he's there and he's sleeping all peacefully beside me, but I was like,
got elbowed.
So you know, it's like I felt those. It felt real, but it wasn't. So even our feelings, we can't trust them. Because after a while, this becomes such a bad habit now. It happens automatically. So now look, you know what? Like, you know, if someone forgets your birthday, right? Even today, you know, at like 30 or 40 years old, someone forgets your birthday, boom, all of a sudden, this comes back, right? And then you're like, oh, see, nobody cares about me. See, I'm unlovable. See, I'm all alone. Here I do everything for everyone else. And they see, right? I'm right. So it just pops up instantaneous like that. Okay? Somebody doesn't say hi to you. I don't know, like in my community, when you pass someone around, you wave at them. Right? Yeah? Well, if someone doesn't wave at me, boom, all of a sudden it's like, what the hell? What's going on? What did I do? What's wrong with me? You know, and then all of a sudden they don't like me. Oh, what a jerk. Hey, oh, I knew you can't trust them. See? People are like that. Right? And all of a sudden it comes back. Then we go into our way of survival. Right? Well, the hell with them, then I'm going to go in my shell the next time they're around.
Back in my res, probably be the opposite. Hey, someone just wave at you. Like,
Oh, the opposite? What's with that? You know, it's like it does, it becomes such a bad habit. And it happens in an instant, boom, like that, and we're right in it. So, you know, like there's nothing to do, right? I just really want you to get it. That's what happens over and over and over. All the time when we get triggered. So this week, we're gonna keep like dismantling this. We're gonna keep like, you know, bringing it down, cutting down its power. Because right now it's got lots of power. So now it's like this week we're gonna start taking that back. But first you have to see it first. Okay? All right. Whew. Any questions? Any comments?
Anybody want to prove her wrong?
All right. Clear? Yeah.
But I had a question.
Yeah, good.
I lost it.
Okay.
I was gonna ask about there was some people, you know, when you start healing, does this piece, and I've been doing a lot of stuff. Very, as well,
Yes.
but I felt like I was in these circles.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
I only go on a one-on-one help, guidance.
Yeah.
You know when you're healing, this is the first I've heard about this. Like I've been healing, and I've been doing stuff. Like, during my healing time, that some of this.
Sure. You know, it does. It fades, right? It fades. But if something happens that re-triggers, it comes right back. And so, you know, it's like this phenomenon, right? Like that, you know, I'll explain it this way. So, once we start to realize, we start to try to fix it. And we stop doing that. But like healing, or we start avoiding those kinds of triggers. Does that make sense? Things that upset us, we start to avoid that. People who upset us, we start to avoid that. Those situations, we start avoiding that. So healing is not avoiding the triggers. Healing is being triggered and moving through it and being able to move through it. So what we teach is what happens when you get triggered, how to move through it, because it never ends. It's like as long as we're alive, this story, it's gonna be there, because it's our longest companion. It's been with us ever since it started. Does that make sense? It's been a comfort to us. You know, we feel safe. In a weird way, we feel safe here and comfortable here. This is normal. Going outside of it feels, hey, who am I without this? I need this, you know? And so we're gonna keep discovering that, like this week. So, now that's not to say that everything, you know, that we've done in terms of healing is no good. No, all of it contributes. See, this is just going to be another tool. So everything that you've done right now, up to date, this is just going to click it all in. Click all in. Do you get that? Yeah, it's like the piece, the missing piece to it all. So the thing that's been still, why? You know? It is, because look, you know what? I got, like, people in my community, we have traditional healers in our community, sweat lodge holders, right? They're Sundance people, they're, you know, and yet, you know, when they got triggered about the Pope coming or whatever, boom, all of a sudden they're like, speaking from here. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have people in my community that, they go to church all the time, right, religiously. But then, if something happens, boom, all of a sudden that old stuff comes back. And that happens for us too. It comes back every now and then. Does that make sense? Yeah. Very good.
Just have a hard time grasping this, or not that.
Yeah.
Like, so that's who I am, that's who I think I am.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Well, who the hell am I then if I'm not that? And that's the distinction. So maybe you need to write that down. Your way of survival is like, your way of survival is what you do, but it's not who you are. That's a big distinction. It's what you do, but it's not who you are. Now, how do we discover who we are? Well, first of all, we have to see who we're not. So we're still looking right now at who we're not. That makes sense. Thank you. Okay, so we gave you one name tag. You're gonna get 3 more. So we've got 1/4 done. There's more. There's more to discover.
Stop scaring them away.
Because they all work together. All right. So at this point, okay. At this point, just see it. And then in the next coming days, we're gonna keep looking at it. Okay? All right. Now, before you guys go home, we're gonna give you 2 more name tags. Okay? All right. You're gonna get 2 more name tags before you go home. Okay, Jesse, you can come in and do that.
Are we co-training? I'm sorry. I didn't know what page he took. What page did he
Reaction practices.
Page
No,
25.
I just, okay, for that one. I just wanted to know what page he took out.